Maybe we should approach the planning commission, maybe the commission should approach the planning commission and say, look, please have a central scheme under the current plan.
Very well said.
To help, and then this can be converted into a centrally sponsored scheme later on. Let's have a central scheme.
Good idea. Good idea. We'll propose it to the commission and
so I think these were the issues that
on this issue of records management. How a good suggestion gets diluted, records management is the case in point. The first report of the Second Administrative Reforms Commission was on right to information. They took up the issue of records management seriously and they recommended that 1% of the budget of all flagship programs of the central government should be set aside for records management. The DOPT issued an office memorandum after the DARPG, its sister department, gave the Government of India's decisions on the recommendations of the Administrative Reforms Commission. Now, they are all up in the public domain. They accepted the the records management related recommendation of the Commission. But when the DOPT issued the office memorandum, they said this is what the Administrative Reforms Commission has recommended. They are saying 1%, but we are directing all public authorities to set aside money in their existing budget for records management. So what is being given as a specific benchmark is completely diluted at the time of sending recommendations. I think this is where civil society has to play a role. This is the right time. It's November. Process of budget making has started, at least in central government. We should start asking, filing applications asking what plan has been made for improving records management under 418 and what budgetary allocation is being put. Like Bhaskar was suggesting, forget old records, start with the existing ones. Whatever is a live file. So start with that. So can we apply pressure? And since that's the consensus coming out, that pressure needs to be applied. I think that is where we have a role to play. That we start targeting departments and ask them, central level and at the state level, what have you done? What is your plan of action? And then bring all of that to the notice of the Standing Committee of Parliament, which looks at this particular law. All the advocacy. Because increasingly what I'm realizing is we are more and more getting into an adversarial mode for the implementation of the RTA Act, and that is not good for any law. It is the conciliatory and mediatory mode that needs to be explored more and more so that some action can happen.
One suggestion has been made by us. Add one chapter and say that whether the reservation policy is being implemented in there. We have been saying that they should also say whether the right to information is being implemented by them or not, or whether they have implemented 418. If they have to report it to the Parliament, then it becomes, the department then ties itself, absolutely binds itself before the Parliament. The pressure is there much higher than what one RTA application is. I think all of you can also demand that it should be part of the annual report of the ministry to the Parliament.
Who can make that decision, DOPT or PMO?
DOPT will have to be the nodal department. They will have to take the approval of that ministry.
So that means we have to lobby with the DOPT to get this done.
PMO.
There's a lot of new people there, but we'll have to do that. I want to end up by doing a note of appreciation and a vote of thanks to the Human Rights Legal Network. Arvind, you wanted to say something?
I agree with Shekhar. I think it went off very well, and I'm very, very grateful to all the commissioners for taking up time. And as he rightly said, it's been a very, very positive atmosphere that the whole discussion has taken place. Just that I agree, this kind of discussion, if it takes place, as Mr. Mishra rightly said, if we can reduce the number of topics and have it with more frequency and give more time to each topic to discuss, that will be far more useful. So it will be a good idea to do it, say, twice a year. One more thing, we just started recently practice where Shailesh in fact was the first person to offer himself and come and have a discussion in the public. So a letter was written to all the appellants who had made appeal before Shailesh Gandhi in the last 1 year, and about 200 people came, and he listened to the people's problems, and after that he did not react to each and every individual case, but the trends of the problems which are coming up, he reacted to that. And as he pointed out, that it was quite an eye-opening exercise for him. And subsequently, similar exercise was done in Goa, Andhra Pradesh, and Punjab, and one more state. About 5 states this has happened. So I would really urge that if this kind of, now it's happening in Odisha and Jharkhand. In Odisha I think we are going on 12th, and in Jharkhand it's taking place on 5th. So if this also could be started, that every 2 or 3 months, if the commissioners can sit with the public, with the people with whose cases they've heard. So the idea is not to respond to individual cases, because you are a quasi-judicial authority and it is not possible to... but the trends which come, I mean, for instance, the structure is that for the first 2 hours the people speak. So the trends of the problems which come at the end of the session, if the commissioner responds for 15-20 minutes, it helps, it's another method of engagement with the people. So this is another idea I just wanted to throw up. As you rightly said, that I personally believe that democracy can function only through engagement, and we have to encourage more and more constructive platforms for these kind of engagement between the various stakeholders. Thank you so much.
Well, as I was starting to say, that I think we all owe a huge debt of gratitude to Colin and his team, because they have really worked tirelessly to put this together. And I think the one thing that I've learned about Colin is that A, he never gives up, and B, he learns from every experience. So I shudder to think how much he's going to do for the next time around when we all to be around with him. But it's great to be able to associate. It's a privilege to be able to associate with him and his team, because mostly lawyers, especially senior successful lawyers, are so busy just running around and doing their briefs that they have no time to engage with the rest of the world. And he's probably one of the very few senior, ultra successful lawyers I know whose heart still beats in the way that ours does. Thank you very much, Colin.
Ready downstairs. He is ready downstairs.